Hello, once more, everyone. Welcome back to the channel back on YouTube doing the Week 15 NFL prediction video. After going 3-4 in Week 14, of rebound from 0-7 in Week 13 to going 3-4 in Week 14. Not the best week, but also with 4 weeks left. I don't know how the next 4 weeks are going to go. Just as long as I get a few correct picks here and there every week, it should help my record out for the rest of the season. With that being said, let's get started with our game Thursday night this week. 7 games on the schedule. A lot of impacts on the playoff races this week. Let's get started. Starting out Thursday night in Tampa Bay. Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers going up against the Falcons and Atlanta. Buccaneers coming off a loss. They came off a rare loss at the Saints, who won only their second game of the year. While the Buccaneers come in at 7-6, only game above 500. They're in a first place tie with the Panthers going into this week. So the Buccaneers definitely, the rest of the year, Buccaneers and Panthers have been battle for the NFC South. Falcons, they have a chance to ruin some teams over the next couple weeks in the NFC South division race. And it all starts Thursday night with the Buccaneers and Falcons. Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers, Mike Evans, he needs I don't know how many yards he needs, but he can set a record for receiving yards in his career for all having a career year. He just needs to play Buccaneers and Baker Mayfield and Mike Evans. They just need to play their own way and just try to win hard. For the Buccaneers, this is a team I think that will make the playoffs. But I say this a lot. They're like the Bills. They're a team they can win in the regular season, but they can't win in the postseason with Baker Mayfield so far since he's gotten Tampa Bay. And this week has to happen like that. If the Falcons can play a good game, or the Buccaneers can play a good game, I think that's going to be interesting to see. I think it's going to be back and forth. But at the end of the day, I see the Buccaneers and Baker Mayfield pulling off a win at home on Thursday Night Football. So give me the Buccaneers to start the week 15 in the first game here. Moving on from Thursday to Sunday, we have the Ravens Lamar Jackson coming off a loss to the Steelers, who are now first place. And this week they go to Cincinnati, the Bengals, and Joe Burrow this week. Burrow and the Bengals coming off a loss to the Bills, where they played the Bills tough. A team that played the Bills tough last week. And that was the Bills and Bengals, which was a tough one for them, I think. They had a lead, I heard, in that game for a while. But at the end of the day, the Bills just found a way to win. For the Ravens, Lamar Jackson, they're coming off a loss to the Steelers. The Steelers surprised them, won by 5 points, 27-22. I did pick the Ravens in that one. And unfortunately, it comes without saying. Can the Ravens be a team that wins the game the rest of the year? Or can the Bengals play spoiler against a lot of teams? I think, yes, the Bengals are going to be one of those teams, and Joe Burrow, they're going to be one of those teams that's going to play spoiler. This week at home, I think they get the job done as a home team. Going in this week, I think they're going to be an underdog, though, at home against the Ravens and Lamar Jackson. But I think Joe Burrow and the Bengals find a way, get the job done, get a big win at home on Sunday. So give me the Bengals and Joe Burrow with an upset win, as I see them beating the Ravens and Lamar Jackson. Moving on to Kansas City. We have Justin Herbert of the Chargers, who won in overtime last night against the Eagles, and the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes, who lost to the Texans. Two teams that had tough games this week. I did pick the Eagles to win yesterday, but the Chargers won 22-19 in overtime, which was surprising. And I'm not going to talk about the Eagles this week. One of those teams that needs help when he wants more games, just like the Chiefs. You can call them the Cardiac Eagles if you want to. But the Chargers, them and the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, two teams. They've gone at it once, down in Mexico, down in Brazil, two teams, Chiefs, Chargers. Chargers got the win the first time around. Give up a home game for it. This time around in Arrowhead Stadium, Kansas City Chiefs 6-7, as is Kansas City. Kansas City Chiefs going in, their percentage going in is now only a 22% chance to make it to the playoffs. Chiefs need a lot of scenarios to happen if they're going to win out. If the Chiefs do win out, they can make it at 10-7 as a wild card, but the division is out of reach right now. They need a lot of things to go right for them on their side of things. And for this week, I think the Chiefs, with a bad offensive line and a defense that's banged up, I think the Chiefs are going to have to play physical this week to get a win. Chargers and Justin Herbert, I think the Chargers are going to come in and play their style of game like they did the first time around. I think the Chiefs are going to have some issues near the end of the day. At the end of the day, as a Chiefs fan, I hate to say this, but I think the Chargers just might get the best of the Chiefs and beat them this week. Give me the Chargers with a rare win, as I see them sweeping the season series. Shocker. Moving on, Buffalo. Josh Allen going into New England, playing Drake May and the Patriots. two teams. Who knows what to think about this one? This is a matchup that could decide who wins the AFC East, or it could be a matchup that decides if the Patriots win the division. Patriots have it here, looking at the number one seed in their front of them, but they have the Bills, Josh Allen, in their way, in their path. I think this is going to be one of those games which to be high scoring this week for the Bills and the Patriots. Also, I think it's one of those games where the Bills and Patriots are going to play down to the wire. It's going to come down to the last second, and also which team can make the least amount of mistakes at the end of the day. I see that being the Bills and Josh Allen being the better team. Drake May is one of those teams as a quarterback. He can play well. Patriots can play well, even though they're at the number one seed right now. I think the Bills and Josh Allen find a way to get the job done, get their 10th win of the years. I do think they upset the Patriots, who have that number one seed. Give me Bills and Josh Allen to start this one. Moving on, we have Detroit. Jared Goff playing his former team. Matthew Stafford of the Rams. Matthew Stafford playing his former team as well. Matchup that could be interesting to see. Lions, it's all about trying to win a game and make up ground in the NFC North. They have the Bears in front of them, the Packers ahead of the Bears. For the Lions, it's going to be about this game against the Rams. Matthew Stafford in his 40s, doing something that's never been done before. He's having a career year, Matthew Stafford of the Rams. Could be one of those years where the Rams go to Super Bowl 60 and win it. Yes, it could very well be. This right now, at this point in time, with 4 weeks left to go in the season, for me, the Rams are one of those teams that I think can win a division title. With that being said, I think the Rams and Lions this week, it's gonna be a game of inches. It's also gonna be a game of quarterbacks throwing touchdown passes. I think this is gonna be a high scoring game at the end of the day, and maybe 80 plus points scored. But at the end of the day, I think the Rams, Matthew Stafford, get a big win at home against the Lions and Jared Goff on Sunday. Moving on to Seattle. It's the Colts. You just signed the 44-year-old Philip Rivers tonight on this Tuesday time in this video. They're going to Seattle to play against the Seahawks and Sam Darnold. Another matchup that should be interesting to see. Colts, Seahawks, two teams. They're going to be images of one another this year in the postseason. Who knows? Colts, with a lot after losing Daniel Jones on Sunday in a game that they should have won. They lost 36-19. Daniel Jones out for the season. Signed Philip Rivers. Is this going to be one of those weeks where Philip Rivers comes in and hasn't played in 5 years and leads the team to victory? Who knows? I think that's going to hurt this. I think this week's going to hurt the Colts for sure with the quarterback issue. But for Seattle, your defense just needs more. Seattle's defense, they just need to worry about Philip Rivers game planning for quarterback who hasn't played in 5 years. And then I think Philip Rivers might make a few mistakes in this one. But at the end of the day, I think the Colts get a rebound, find a way to get back into the win column this week after losing 2 in a row. With that being said, give me the Colts and Philip Rivers and a surprising win on the road. Moving on to the final game of the predictions this week. Jordan Love of the Packers, first place in the NFC North. Headed to Denver, playing Bo Nix and the Broncos. In what could be a Super Bowl 60 preview, there's many games this week that could be Super Bowl 60 previews. This is one of them this week that could be it. As you look at it, Broncos, number 2 seed right now in the AFC, out of the AFC West. They went out. When they won the rest of their games, they could be the AFC West division winner. At the moment, it's theirs to win and theirs to lose. Also for the Packers, same story. I think this week's going to be one of those weeks with the Packers and Broncos. It's one of those weeks for the Packers. Going around to Denver. Denver's a tough team to beat this year, and the Broncos have showed it. And I'll say this. When I became a Broncos fan when Peyton Manning was there, they started winning games and won the Super Bowl 50. Won the Super Bowl 50 in Peyton Manning's final year. And then they fell apart after that. Didn't do much after that. It's been hard being a Broncos fan all these years. But you can say this. Broncos are back. And Bo Nix, the second-year quarterback, he's leading this team. He's one of those quarterbacks I think that could lead the Broncos. Broncos currently could be a favorite to win the Super Bowl. Are they? Don't know. Will they? It's hard telling. At the end of the day, though, I think this will be one of those games that's going to be a dogfight for both teams. I think the Broncos, Packers, I think it's going to be one of those games that's going to go down to the wire. At the end of the day, though, I think the Denver Broncos find a way and upset the Packers for the Bears fans and Lions fans all around. I think the Broncos get a big win. Quick recap: I'm taking the starting Thursday Night Football, taking the Buccaneers and Baker Mayfield over the Falcons. In Cincinnati, I'm taking Joe Burrow and the Bengals over Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. In Kansas City, I'm taking Justin Herbert and the Chargers in a rare win to sweep the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes this year. In New England, I'm taking Josh Allen and the Bills over the Patriots and Drake May. In LA, I'm taking the Rams, Matthew Stafford over the Lions and Jared Goff. And in Seattle, I'm taking the Colts and the 44-year-old Phillip Rivers over the Seahawks and Sam Darnold. And in Denver, I'm taking Bo Nix and the Broncos over Jordan Love and the Packers. With that being said, hope you all enjoyed. Please comment below who your favorite team is playing and if you think they win this week. With that being said, I'll see you right here in the NFL prediction correct version shortly. And I'll see you after the Broncos and Packers game, after the late games, for an NFL prediction recap for Week 15 on Sunday. That being said, please remember, watch, like, subscribe. Don't forget to tell our friends to do the same if they've not done so yet already. And also don't forget to hit that notification button below so you know when I upload a new video. With that being said, have a good day. Stay safe and peace out. I'll see you right back here in the next video. Bye for now. Have a good day, everyone. See you next time. Bye.